Well, good morning, folks, and again, welcome back to Three's In. Still laughing about the last story, but anyway, this next story I have for you was about a young FAIP, again, a first assignment IP, just graduated from pilot training and showed up at PIT, Pilot Instructor Training, down at Randolph in my initial 38 PIT class in January 19... Actually, it would have been on January, February... Late February, early March 1975. I had come back from Southeast Asia and then did a local checkout advance to become pilot qualified, and then went down to Randolph for the instructor training. At any rate, he was one of the students in the class from Laughlin. And we called him Big Al because his name was Al and he was big. Maybe 6'3", 6'4", something like that, and well built, not fat at all. But just a big guy and nice guy. I really like Big Al. So anyway, part of the program in becoming an instructor is after you achieve a certain degree of proficiency, then they have you start acting like you're the instructor teaching a student. Now, the real IP sits in the front seat, and the student IP sits in the back seat, and he's giving instruction to the regular IP. Okay, you get it. It gets a little bit convoluted. But anyway, so that's what you have. And Bob Lytle was flying with him that day in the front seat. Now, Bob, we used to call Two-Beer Bob because he had 2 beers and that was it. But anyway, so 2 beers in the front seat and Big Al's in the back seat, and they're up on this ride. I was not with them. Anyway, what happened is they're up there on this 2-ship ride, and I can't remember who was in the other airplane, but they were doing a pitch out and a rejoin. Now, on a pitch out and rejoin, we fly in fingertip formation, and then lead pitches out, 2 counts 4 seconds, and then he goes behind him, and after 180 degrees, they roll out about a mile spacing. So that's the way the setup was. So Al rolls out, and 2 beers watching Big Al in the mirror, and he sees Al's looking all over the place. Somehow, during a pitch out, he had lost him. He had lost sight of him. But Big Al was clever. He knew that after 4 seconds of rolling wings level, to anticipate lead, giving a rock in his wings, and then for a rejoin signal, and making a 30-degree bank turn for the rejoin. Well, most of the time we would go to the left. I don't know why, it just happened. So Al's betting that lead went to the left. So after 4 seconds, Al starts a left-hand turn, and he's up there instructing about, okay, we're in a little bit of a tail chase to begin with, so we're going to take some cutoff here so that we can cut them off and then get out on a line that we looked for, and then just fly that line into lead. The only thing is, 2 beers sitting there, and as Al makes his turn to the left, he's watching lead go to the right. And he's sitting there, what the hell? And Al, God bless him, he's sitting in the back seat just instructing his heart out. And he's back there looking like crazy. Where the hell is lead? So he's looking like this up and down and so forth. And 2 beers sitting there watching him. And finally, when he couldn't stand it anymore, and 2 beer was about to lose lead, he said, okay, I got the airplane. And he took it, made a dive, and went down for some smash, some airspeed, and then pulled up and began to rejoin on lead. And that's when Al knew he'd pinked the flight. God bless him. But you got to give him high marks for the old college try, I suppose. If 2 beer hadn't said that, or if 2 beer had lost sight of him, the next time they'd have seen each other as in a pass like that, and hopefully not hit each other. Anyway, Big Al went down to Laughlin, and I never saw him again until when I came back to Pitt, I think in 78. I ran into him, and like I said, I always liked the guy. So we sat in a hallway and talked for a moment, and then he kind of went on his way. At that time, I was in headquarters safety. So I didn't see him on a daily basis, this, that, and the other, and then after a while, I didn't see him at all. And I asked, hey, anybody seen Big Al around? He said, oh, he got arrested a couple of weeks ago. What? Yeah, he was arrested for dealing drugs. You gotta be shitting me. Well, as it turns out, when Big Al went down to Laughlin, he wasn't married, and he liked riding motorcycles, and on his days off, he found a nice little club to ride with. They're called the Banditos. Give me a break. Does anybody have down there not have their heads up their butts? The Banditos is a notorious drug motorcycle gang, and Al fell right in with them, and so he got caught up in that. And when he came back to Randolph, he got nailed at a convenience store just off the base where they were dealing drugs. The OSI had their eyes on that place, and in walked Al, and he got caught in the net. I was sorry to see that. That's Al's one of the 3 guys I knew of that went to Leavenworth, and I was just sorry to see that. There's a part of me that wonders, why wasn't a flight commander paying attention to what his people were doing on their off-duty hours? Now, like I've often said, I don't need to know your business, the intricacies of your business when you're off-duty. That's yours. But I ought to have some idea as a flight commander. But that's probably a subject for another video someday. I'll think about it. I was just sorry to see that we lost Big Al. Maybe because a supervisor wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But so be it. He was a good kid, and I was sorry to hear that we had lost him. Anyway, those are just some of the stories that come with the others I have. Take care, folks.